What is going on, everybody? How you doing today? My name is Jim Games, and I react to videos on the internet. And in today's video, I will be reacting to why Dutch bikes are better and why you should want one. Kind of a weird thing to react to, right? Well, why am I here? Well, I've been reacting to all sorts of crazy things in Amsterdam, in Dutch culture, the geography, landscapes, architecture, the people, everything. And one thing I kind of notice in all these videos is everybody is riding a bicycle. Yeah, there are very few cars. There's a lot of boats, but there are very few cars, and everyone seems to kind of get around on these bicycles. And I'm told the Dutch bicycles are the best, so we're going to find out right now. But before I do get this video started, a couple quick important links I got to tell you about real fast in the description section. One is the community Discord. If you are on Discord, trust me, you're going to want to be a part of this community. We got a great group of people over there that will keep you updated as to what's going on with the channel, me, live shows, all kinds of crazy stuff. Trust me, Discord is where it's at. And I also have my personal Twitch link down there as well. I do live reaction shows over on Twitch. It's a good time. So if you're on Twitch, check out that link as well. All right, let's switch screens and let's get right on into this. This should be interesting. Why Dutch bikes are better and why you should want one. Okay, here we go. Not just bikes.
This is our Dutch bicycle. It's an oma fiets, literally grandma bicycle.
Yeah.
There's really nothing special about it, at least here in the Netherlands. But in Canada, the US, or many other countries, this bike would be very unique indeed.
Yeah.
And bicycles like this one really surprised me the first time I visited the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's a funny looking bicycle. I mean, it looks like your everyday kind of old person bike. I mean, we've got bicycles here, but they're like badass looking. There's like they got mountain bike tires and gears, and they don't have bells on them. But something tells me you use bikes in a very different way than we use them here in America.
There's a good reason for this uniqueness. In the Netherlands, bicycles are seen as a tool for everyday transportation, a way to get from point A to point B quickly and efficiently. In most other countries, bicycles are used primarily for sport and exercise. This one difference explains nearly everything special about a bike like this. Now, it's not like this is the only kind of bicycle you'll see in the Netherlands, of course. There are many others, including e-bikes, cargo bikes, hand cycles, and you'll definitely see road bikes used for sport too, especially on weekends.
That's what we normally see around here in America, at least in my neck of the woods. Road bikes, but these bikes are really just for sport, honestly. But they're very, very expensive pieces of machinery. Like sometimes these bicycles can cost more than a car.
But for everyday urban transportation, this style of bicycle is by far the most common. So what makes this bicycle so different from what you might be used to?
Yeah.
Well, the primary difference is that this is an upright bicycle. It's built to ride in an upright sitting position. This is an inefficient position that will not transmit maximum power into the crank during a pedal stroke, plus it's totally not aero. But who cares? What the upright position does provide is comfort. The handlebars on this bicycle are high up and swept back, making it extremely comfortable to ride. On this kind of bicycle, you almost pull up and back on the handlebars rather than putting any weight on them.
Interesting.
This is just a more comfortable way to sit on a bicycle.
Yeah, with us, I mean, I got a mountain bike, and how I'm generally seated and how most people I see riding bikes are seated is they're kind of slanted up and over this thing. And they're literally putting like some of their chest weight on the bicycle to push forward towards momentum.
And the design is very similar to the original safety bicycle, developed in the UK in the late 19th century.
Safety bicycle.
Sitting upright also makes it easier to see what's going on around you, which can be safer when cycling in busy urban environments with lots of other people around. Riding this way lets you wear any type of clothing you'd like because it's no different than sitting in a chair, which is why you see most people in the Netherlands dressed for the destination and not the ride. This bicycle has a step-through frame, meaning that you can get on and off it very easily without having to swing your leg around like you do on a bike like this.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what kind of like a traditional roadster bicycle would look like, or a commuter bike you might see in the city of Boston, where I'm from. Obviously, we got that little bar right over here. I think that bar signifies that this is a bike designed for a man, which I've never really understood, because the female bicycles have like a little divot in them, but the men's have this like straight bar. And I've never quite understood that, because if you hit a pothole or something, or you come unleveled from your seat and you bounce up, you're going to land on that in your crotch. I've never done it, but I've always been afraid of it and very cognizant of it. So I've always been very aware. So I've never really known why this is the male bicycle, whereas the female goes down like that. I always would have thought the male would go down and the female could be like that. But I don't know. But yeah, this is a traditional bicycle. You might see it in the city of where I'm from. They got a little rack mount here in the back. Sometimes they'll have some kind of lights up there as well. Basic, maybe 4, possibly 8-speed bicycle. I'm not too versed on bicycles, so I don't know the intricacies of them. But this looks like a traditional commuter bicycle in Boston.
With a crossbar. These frames are fine and you'll definitely see them here, but I find them particularly annoying if you have a kid seat, because if you swing your leg up to get on, you kick your kid in the head.
Oh, yeah. Wasted. Fatality.
And I don't understand why we still call these men's bikes when it's the only kind you can hit your nuts on.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I was just saying. I don't get it. I do not get it.
Because step-through frames are more comfortable to use, they're increasingly popular for both men and women.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Another thing that contributes to people wearing normal clothes when cycling, and why you'll even see women wearing dresses and skirts. Speaking of skirts, this thing is called a skirt guard or coat guard, and it's quite common on Dutch bicycles. It prevents long articles of clothing from getting stuck in the spokes as you ride. It also helps prevent a child sitting on the back from getting their foot stuck.
Cool. A very, very efficient thing. Here in America, at least when I was riding bicycles, it was very popular to roll up your pant leg around where, the chain was, so you didn't get your pant leg caught in the chain or get it all, muddied up from the oil lube. These ones, look, they got guards over the whole thing. You guys are doing it right out there. Like, it's an actual commuter bike, doing the best you can to keep the mud off you, keep that grease off your leg. Yeah, I kind of want one of these bikes already.
Another thing to protect your clothing is the chain guard, a plastic or metal cover over the bicycle chain. It also helps to protect the chain from the elements, making it last longer. This thing here is called a frame lock, and almost every bicycle in the Netherlands has one.
What's that?
These are incredibly convenient for so many reasons, but I've almost never seen them outside of the Netherlands, Denmark,
What is
and
that?
Japan. They are an easy way to lock the back wheel of your bicycle for quick stops, which makes it really, really easy to pop into a shop when riding somewhere.
Oh my God, yeah, there's no chains on any of these bikes. Here in America, well, first off, you almost never see bikes like this just all around the city. You might have like a bike, rack or something, but there's going to be a big chain, looping through that frame and through the tire or something so people don't steal them. I wonder, is bike theft an issue for you guys, since bikes are kind of everywhere and it seems like they're kind of just laying around? Do people steal bikes? I would imagine they would. But you had that locking thing. I don't know exactly what that locking thing did. So you lock your bike and then it stops the tires from moving. I mean, I guess you could still just pick up the entire bike and run off with it, but I've never seen anything like that. That's really cool.
Somewhere. The frame lock also keeps your key inside as you ride. You can actually buy frame locks that don't do this, but I really like the key retaining feature. This is a small detail, but it ensures that your bike keys are always with you. That being said, I have been known to accidentally hit the key with my leg and bend it like this.
Oh, shoot.
Oops. Also, while there's a lot of space for the locking mechanism in the wheel, I seem to hit the spoke far more often than you'd think. I should have gone into neutrino research. When this lock is engaged, you can't ride the bicycle, but you can, of course, just pick it up and walk away with it.
Yeah.
So if you want to ensure that your bike is still there when you return, it's best to bring a chain lock with you as well, and
Okay.
most people do. If you see bikes locked only like this, it's probably because the owner considers their bike too crappy to steal.
Oh.
A slight variation
You
on
kinda
this is
want
a
that.
frame lock with a chain lock integrated, giving you 2 locks with 1 key.
That's pretty cool.
Interestingly, U-locks, by far the most common locks in North America, are not seen very often in the Netherlands.
Really?
Probably because it's difficult to get close enough to something to lock to with so many other
Because
bikes.
you're so many bikes. It's such a big part of your culture and actually moving around and getting from point A to point B. Bikes are used so often, you literally do not have the room for one of those U-hooks. That's crazy. It's not crazy. I mean, it's awesome for the environment. It's great for your health. It's a more enjoyable way to get from point A to point B. The question is, what happens when it rains? You just get wet?
Another feature you'll see on almost every bicycle in the Netherlands is both front and rear fenders. This makes sense in a country where it rains all the time. Fenders are not considered an optional add-on here.
Oh, really?
What's also included...
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever ridden a bicycle in the rain, but it's not fun. And for a country that rains so much, I guess that's why they have these little fender things. But if you've ever ridden a bike in the rain, as the tires are spinning and stuff like that, water is literally shooting up your butt crack sometimes, and it's spraying up at you as well since you have these two wheels moving. It's kind of crazy. It's not fun to drive in the rain, and I'm assuming there are cars. There are cars around. Maybe it's just people don't own cars as much as they do like here in America or other parts of the world, or maybe they just prefer to use a bike. I don't know.
Is a kickstand. Almost every bike comes with one.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so perfect. Oh my god. All right, we got the regular old kickstand. You kick it out, and it literally just leans in one direction. But if a tire moves, anything happens, that bike is falling off. That is... Let me take that back here. I want to see that one more time.
Are not considered an optional add-on.
That is a cool stand. That is a very cool stand.
What's also included
Check that out.
is a kickstand. Almost every bike comes with one.
And right there, you're level. You're 100% level. That bike's not going to be toppling over. Or maybe it would. I don't know if the tire bends left or right. It looks pretty steady.
Over the fender, you'll usually find a rear rack, though some bikes have a rack on the front. Ultimately, these bicycles are meant to be useful, so having panniers at the back or a box on the front allows people to carry a surprisingly large amount of stuff. No SUV required. Rear racks in the Netherlands are also built strong enough to carry another person, which you see quite regularly.
Oh, that's cool.
But then everything on a Dutch bicycle is heavy duty. These aren't aluminium or carbon fiber frames, they're made of solid steel. These bikes are not built for speed, they're built to last.
So there's a major difference here between bikes, in America that we use for leisure as to what you guys are using for transportation, or even our commuter bikes. Everything is made of carbon fiber or something like that, a lighter weight metal type of substance to make things as aerodynamic and as speedy as possible. But you guys are really going for a utility-based bike here, and doing it the right way with having the right locking mechanisms, perfect fenders, the bar design's really good, and really just in making a heavier bike, because it'll be heavier, it'll be kind of more of a pain in the ass and won't feel as light, but at the same time, you're going for comfort here, you're going for practicality, and you want something that's going to be a little bit more robust if you're going to be using it every day, so it makes sense. I'm kind of wanting this bike. When I saw the thumbnail for this bike and it says and why you should want one, I'm like, no way you'd catch me dead tooling around on one of these things. Now I kind of want one.
In general, Dutch bicycles are built to be low maintenance. So when a bicycle has gears, they're often internal hub gears like this one.
Nice.
In-hub gearing is great because they almost never need maintenance. This is very different from derailleurs, which I find are constantly going out of alignment.
Yep.
Of course, many bicycles, including this one of ours, don't have any gears at all. You might also notice that this particular bike doesn't have any handbrakes either. A lot of bikes here do have handbrakes, but this one uses coaster brakes that you engage by cycling backwards.
Okay.
This was fascinating to me because in Canada, you will never see brakes like this except on children's bikes.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is over here. We'll have... Well, actually, no, my mountain bike doesn't. It's all handbrake. I've always felt like I've had more control over a bicycle when I had the brakes where you literally backpedal and you can kind of slide out a little bit. But he's absolutely right. It's the same thing in America, too. Most bikes, how you stop is from a handbrake. But I find, in my adult years, if I'm going fast, I'm going down a hill or something, I want to stop. And I'm already kind of leaning forward anyway, because that's the way the bike's designed. And now I'm squeezing on these brakes. I do this little thing where... it goes up, but back of the ass on the bike goes up, and I'm on one wheel for a second, and I almost fall. I almost wish that I could backpedal a little bit to have more control. I feel like I would have more control.
They take some getting used to, but I really prefer cycling like this, as it feels so natural to pedal forward to speed up and pedal backwards to brake.
Yeah, it's just natural.
By not having any handbrakes or gears, it keeps the bike simple and maintenance-free. It also avoids any cables that might accidentally get stuck on other bicycles when parking in tight places.
Oh, that happens all the time.
All of this is done to keep the bicycle in good working condition, which is important when it's your primary mode of transportation. The only problem we've ever had with this bicycle is the occasional flat tire.
Look how beautiful it is.
Tires, Did you know they use a different tire valve here?
Do they?
In the US and Canada, there are only ever 2 tire valves. Presta, found on road bikes, and Schrader, found on everything else. Here in the Netherlands, they use a blitz valve.
What's that?
These valves have a little ball that prevents air from getting out. They're really easy to work with. In case you're curious, you can just use a regular Presta pump to fill these. Just pump it up to a high enough pressure and the valve will open automatically.
Oh, cool.
Another thing you'll sometimes see on bicycles here is a dynamo.
Yeah, what's that?
These go in the wheel hub or on the wheel and generate enough electricity to power LED
No
lights.
way! That's cool.
These are pretty nice, as you never need to worry about recharging batteries or forgetting your lights.
Oh man, that is so practical. That is so cool. So you're charging your lights as you're going. That is so cool.
Just another small thing that makes these bicycles simple for everyday use.
I like that orange color too.
Lastly, the bell on this bike makes a pleasant sound.
What? It's like a doorbell. It is so pleasant.
Though you hardly ever need to use your bell here, so it doesn't really matter.
So he's saying you hardly ever need to use your bell there. I find that surprising because I would assume like the guy in the bike in the left here that just passed this guy, like how do you let people know? Because I'm not seeing mirrors on a lot of these bikes either. How do you let people know that you're coming up on their left or you're going to be passing them or doing something? In my line of work, if I'm running around behind somebody, I will literally say behind you or on your left or coming around the corner or something. This is just a way for us to, voice that we're going to be in an area that might not be seen and we don't run into each other. With public transportation being so reliant on bicycles, and you literally see them everywhere. And honestly, this video is beautiful, by the way, watching them just bike through the whole city. I could watch that all day. But you can truly see, like, bikes are everywhere. They are everywhere. So how do you communicate with your fellow passerby, or if someone's behind you or someone wants to speed up or pass you or whatever? Do you literally just have a conversation, be like, oh, hey, man, I'm 10 feet behind you. I think I'm going to pass you on the left. Or do you just ring your bell? But I mean, he said most people don't ring their bell, even though it makes that awesome, pleasant sound.
When we were still living in Canada, we knew about upright Dutch-style bikes and tried for years to buy one, but they were almost impossible to find. This photo sums up the situation in Canada. A selection of bicycles supposedly for commuting,
Yeah.
with nothing but sporty hybrids and road bikes.
Yep.
They don't even come with a rack, fenders, or kickstand. Maybe there are more bike shops with upright bicycles today, but when we lived in Toronto, there was only one shop that sold them, and the next closest was over 50 kilometers away. Here in Amsterdam, I can't swing a pair of clogs without hitting a dozen bicycle shops that sell functional, practical bicycles.
I wonder how much they go
Bicycles that
for.
are designed for transportation.
How much do these bikes cost? Bonus points if you can tell me how much that is in dollars, American dollars. I really kind of want to buy one of these things right now. They look super comfortable, incredibly practical, and they're well built. What's not to love? But I'd like to know the cost of one of these things. And I imagine it would range fairly dramatically, like it does here in America, with the cost of a bike being anywhere from, $80 to $80,000. It's insane. I wonder what like the average cost of an average commuter bicycle would be. Maybe they'll just have one shipped over here. I wonder if I can do that.
Not sport. One group in Winnipeg, Canada, got so frustrated trying to find practical urban bicycles that they started importing new and used bicycles from the Netherlands.
No way.
They call themselves the Plain Bicycle Project, and they're regularly receiving shipping containers full of bicycles from the Netherlands. So to my Dutch viewers, when you're finished with your bike, please consider donating it to needy families in
Yes.
Canada.
Or America.
It's so great to have bicycles that aren't for sport. Bicycles whose primary function is to be there when you need it, to carry your shopping or your friend, and to be used with as little effort as possible. No special gear or costume changes required. This is a point that's often overlooked because while it's obviously important to have safe streets and cycling infrastructure, it also makes a difference to have easy access to practical, low-maintenance bicycles like this one. Living in Amsterdam, I know that when I need to go somewhere, taking a bicycle will usually be the fastest and most convenient way to get there. But it's also important to know that I won't have any problems either, because of our old, clunky, rusty, beat-up, comfortable, reliable Omafeets. I'd like to thank my supporters on Patreon who pay me to talk about just bikes.
Beautiful. This was cool. Man, I really just enjoyed watching the video footage of this guy just tooling around Amsterdam, honestly, and just taking in the sights and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, the video did not lie. I should want one, and I do want one. I have no idea how much these bicycles cost, how I would ever even go about getting a decent one here in America. I guess I could find a company that might ship one out, but the shipping might cost more than the bike itself. But that's my question. How much do these bicycles cost? How much have you spent on your bicycle? Do you find it worth it? How long do these bicycles normally last? Is this something you're buying a new bike every couple years, or you buy one once every 5-10 years and you're good? I'd be interested to know. Also, he said that everything was made of solid steel, but I mean, obviously it rains a lot over there. Do you have issues with rusting and stuff like that? What do you do when it rains? Do you take a car? Do you have taxis? I don't know. These are questions that hopefully you guys will answer for me. Obviously, I did see some cars out there. I'm not saying you guys don't have cars. Obviously, you have cars, but bicycles is like your main mode of transportation. So I'd be interested to know. What else about this video? Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful to watch, and what a well-built bicycle. I mean, there's just so many little things on this bike that makes it appealing for even me and using it as a commuter bicycle. Bikes around here, like, if you want a decent one, they're going to be really expensive, $500+. And on top of that, they're not going to come with what you need half the time, like not a kickstand. It's going to have the brakes in the front, might not have a rack mount on it. You have to buy a chain. You have to do all that kind of stuff. These bikes just seem so practical. Having that bar down so you didn't bump your balls, that alone is enough for me to buy one of these bikes. The lights that light up just from forward momentum and you actually creating electricity due to moving around, I think that's incredibly cool. I've never seen a kickstand like that. That was really awesome. The interlocking mechanism on the bike, that was completely new to me. There's just so many cool little things about this bike that really just make you want to go and get one for the sheer convenience factor of it all. Even like the gearbox system, I thought that was awesome. So you don't have gears that are changing on the outside of the bike, and you might slip a gear and the chain might fall off. There's just so many little things that have been thought of. The chain guards, the fenders on the thing to reduce the rainwater. Yeah, it's really cool. And the upright seating as well. You know, seating here in America, the bikes are it's almost for design. You know, like I remember going to buy a bicycle a couple of years ago, and I remember just walking through this bike shop, and I'm just like looking, and I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I'm like, oh, that one looks streamlined, and that one looks really cool. And I remember buying a bike just because it looked cool. I bought that bike, you know, and not knowing too much about it, but I'm like, well, that bike looks cool, so that probably will do the trick. But it didn't come with a kickstand. Didn't come with a chain. You didn't have the backwards brakes. I would have loved to have been able to do that. Didn't have all these features that you're finding on these like everyday commuter bikes that you guys just have out there. I'm telling you, man, it's bizarro world. It's bizarro world from here in America to me learning about these other places. And it's funny to see it when other places are just absolutely killing it, and we don't know what we're doing. And bicycles, I think, is one of them, especially in the commuter world. I think we're definitely due for a change. But my question is, how much do these bicycles cost? How do I get one? How long do they last? And what do you do when it rains? Guys, if you enjoyed your time with me today, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'm going to catch you guys out on the next video. Be well and be safe.